This is a G-shock GBD-800. It has a step counter, Bluetooth, stopwatch, timer, and also other different functions, and I still don't think you should buy it. Let me tell you why. Hello, today I welcome you to my world of watches, and I want to make this short video telling you a little bit about this G-shock GBD-800 and why, in my opinion, it's not a very well designed G-shock. A lot of people, including me, have said in the past that you just cannot go wrong with a G-shock, and this watch I have here is a perfect example that you can indeed go wrong with the G-shock. I've had this watch previously in orange and the same fault appeared on that one too, so this is not just a one bad watch example. They both had the same problem. This is basically just a poor design choice. Just before I continue, I want to say that these are just my thoughts, my opinion, and faults that I found that apply to me. I know that there might be some backlash due to the things I say about this timepiece, but I don't really care, and I want to enlighten people not just about the great bang for the buck watches and how good they are, but also other side of budget watch collecting. So let's take a look. By the way, just so you weigh everything that I say correctly, I want to let you know that you can get this watch right now on Amazon for about $80 to $90, so it is very budget friendly. Firstly, the packaging is really nothing different. If you have at least one G-shock, you know that they come usually in these tin hexagonal boxes. Really nice looking, presentable enough even if you want to give this watch as a gift to someone. The size is like you would expect on a G-shock, 57.5 millimeters in diameter. The lug to lug is about 54 millimeters. It is almost 15 millimeters thick, that is counting with the protruding bezel. The bandwidth at its widest is about 16.5 and it weighs 63 grams. And now you can see it on my roughly 7-inch wrist. I won't sugarcoat it, it is on the bigger side, especially when it's white. It appears bigger on wrist than a black watch would. Nevertheless, the size doesn't really get in the way. I like how it works with my wrist, and in general the wearing experience, speaking from the size side of things, is really good. Now we come to the main thing about this watch that I dislike and that makes me unable to recommend you this watch, and that is the band. For first, it is pretty nice. The rubber is soft and comfortable. It has a bunch of holes for you to fit the watch perfectly on your wrist. The buckle is secure, and I like that the band keeper fixates on the hole itself and doesn't slide easily because it has a protruding rubber piece as well that stops it from moving around. But the main problem are these band supporters. They are, I guess, used to make the watch fit a little bit more comfortable around your wrist and maybe serves as a protection to some degree. The thing is that it creates a gap between the supporter and the band itself, and when you wear the watch it plucks your wrist hair like mad. It isn't just a sometimes occurring thing. For me it plucks hairs constantly, and I'm pretty much unable to wear this watch because of this reason. And I cannot say that I have a particularly hairy wrist. It is quite average, and the wearing experience from this point is just very bad. Maybe if you have little to no hairs on your wrist it would work. And again, this is not just a minor inconvenience. Some watches, like for example the Casio A158, has a tendency to pluck your hairs once in a while, but very rarely, just to remind you that you are indeed wearing a watch. This one, however, does that constantly, and that was basically the reason why I sold the previous orange model, because I just couldn't wear it, and I cannot wear this one just the same. And since we're at the band, I want to also mention one thing that is very evident before you even buy the watch, and that is that the white rubber will get dirty very fast. Not only that, it also has a tendency to get yellow after a while, so that is not really a negative, as you know what you're going into before buying the watch, but it is still something to note. I do really like this design. I think that the colors work perfectly with one another. It looks really clean when it's all white with a little accents of gray and silver color. I think it matches beautifully, and even the positive LCD works really good in this design. And also for me it gives this kind of a sci-fi movie kind of vibe. I think that is because it reminds me of a stormtrooper from Star Wars. I think that this is a kind of a watch that they would wear while constantly shooting. and missing. So yeah, I really like how it looks while it looks good. The crystal covering the dial is just a simple mineral crystal. It will scratch up after some time, however it won't be very easy to scratch it up as it has this design where the bezel is raised from the crystal itself and it protects it from various bumps and contacts with different surfaces. I have G-Shocks that I've had for 3 to 4 years now that I wear very often, and the crystals are perfectly fine, maybe some micro scratches that are not easily visible to the eye, but overall they held up pretty good. And now we finally come to the dial where again Casio did really good with the whole layout. We got a silver color chaptering, if you can call it that, then another layer of white with bunch of writings like the water resistance, Bluetooth, step tracker and so on, then the little circle on the top which if you press the button on the bottom it switches to steps and the circle shows the percentage of how much of your set goal of steps each day have you already done. And then the main LCD which displays the day of the week up top, then the time in the middle, and lastly the year, the month and the day of the month is on the bottom. It also has a bunch of functions like a stopwatch, then a record function which I do believe acts as a sort of a storage for stopwatch measurements, then there is a timer function, then a dual time mode so you can switch between your hometown and another place, and also 5 different alarms. But the functions don't end here. You can also connect this watch to the app on the phone via Bluetooth, and then you can set your personal step count goal. It also auto adjusts your time 4 times per day. You can set your home city time, set an alarm via the app to the watch, and plus with all of that it also has a phone finder function, so it is just packed with a lot of useful features. For a watch that costs $80 to $90, it does pack a lot of things inside that are very beneficial to the user. Lastly, I want to show you the sort of a lume of this watch. It has a very big light on the side which illuminates the whole LCD. Very nicely done. It is extremely bright and makes the reading of time easy even in the pitch black. So now my final thoughts about this watch. I think it would have been almost a perfect G-Shock if it wasn't for the band supports. It does have a very nice looking design. The colors are also very nicely coordinated, bunch of useful features, especially the step tracker that again adds to your health, and overall I really like the design. But I just cannot get over the hair plucking that it gives me. I would wear this watch every day easily. I think it has a very attractive design, but sadly it is what it is. So there you go, here's my full review on this Casio GBD-800. Very nicely done by Casio with all of the functions that are packed for such a low price. The design again I really like, and it's a little bit more modern than let's say a classic DW5600, but as you can see ingenuity does not give the best results sometimes. So would I recommend it? This time I will say no, I won't recommend you this watch. There are other alternatives from the G-Shock line that I've reviewed previously that are way better than this one, and I would go for them instead. As always, if you like this video, please leave a like and also consider subscribing and hitting that little bell so you'll get notified when I upload a new video. And now thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.